Hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in on the weekly update video. Without wasting any further time, let's just dive deeper into it. Like always, we will start with the price of grape and wine. The price of grape is sitting at $0.44 with a market cap of $2.2 million. Grape has made another all-time low this week, but I do not see a reason to worry because LB mentioned that the pack campaign will start soon. Time to take a look at the price of the share token, that is the wine. Wine's price is sitting at $39 and the last time we were this low was in April. In the April of 2022, the price of wine reached $37 and it jumped all the way to $350. The area of $38 is acting as a resistance right now and this could be a good buying opportunity. Of course, not financial advice. What you can do right now is buy some cheap wine, pair it with meme and then stake it in the wine press. Of course, we will talk about wine press a bit later. Time to take a look at the price of NFTs of the winery collection and the winters collection. The floor price of winery collection is sitting at $3.4. Last week we saw a jump in the floor price and it's down again. This could also be a good buying opportunity because for those of you who don't know, 2% of deposits from the wine press goes to the treasury and from the 2%, 1% goes to the NFT rewards pool, which of course is then used to airdrop to the NFT holders. Let's see how the winters are doing. The floor price of winters is 0.95 AVX. We have seen that the floor of the winters fluctuates from 0.95 AVX to 1.25 AVX. In one of the recent AMS, LB mentioned that the next week is when new tools and new skills will be introduced. That should bring demand to the winters collection. Alright, let's move to the dashboard for a second. Make sure you go through this Grape news every day to see what's happening in Grape Finance. Now let's take a look at the TVL. The TVL is sitting at $3.6 million, but that is to be given because of the price of wine and grape token. A lower TVL doesn't necessarily have to mean that money has left the protocol. It's just that the TVL is calculated on the price of grape and wine. Let's see how the wine press, which is the Grape's version of EMP's detonator, is doing. The total deposits are sitting at 7,888 wine meme LP tokens, which roughly equates to $125,000. This figure has been growing consistently and hasn't slowed down. The daily APR is sitting at 1.37%. Also, the feature of zapping your wine tokens has been turned off given the price of wine. So now you can directly choose to deposit your wine meme LP tokens or you can zap your meme. Make sure you use Grape token to buy lottery tickets, which then increases your chance to win the pots. Let's talk about nodes for a second. People have been talking that they aren't able to see the rewards that have accumulated. Now I suggest you to please go to the nodes section and read this. What this means is that if there has been too many claims, the pool needs to protect itself from draining. And that's the reason you are not able to see your rewards. You just have to wait for a few hours until the contract refills itself so that it can pay you. I also suggest you to read this FAQ that explains what you can do with your Grape meme LPs. Similar FAQs has been put in the pools too. It displays what you can do with your wine rewards. You know what time it is. It's time to recap the AMA. Now first and the most important thing LB mentioned is the pack campaign. I explained in one of the previous recaps what pack campaign exactly is. But for those of you who don't know, pack campaign is provided by Ames DeFi, whereby you stake your Grape meme LP tokens where the contract breaks the LPs, uses the meme to buy grapes and single stakes the grape in the pool. The rewards are boosted, so staking your LPs is incentivized. Similar pack campaign has been going on in Frozen Walrus. Let's see how Walrus is doing right now. The price of Walrus is sitting at $0.78. We have seen that there have been some swing trading going on around the pack campaign. What we can do is that learn from this scenario and see how we can move forward with it. As we mentioned in the last AMA, that one or other way the treasury is going to be used. So we do not want to rush the peg. And if we rush the pack, what will happen is that there will be lot of dumpers that will swing trade Grape token. We do not want to end up in a situation where we used up the treasury and also not gained peg. Going below peg is not a bad thing. I want to remind you that we constantly printed for 2-3 months and that is a lot of grapes in circulation. What you can call this is a healthy contraction phase. Going below peg is not the end of the grape. The team is still delivering and still working on new utilities. When we look at EMP, which is a very successful tome folk, it was below peg for 2 or 2.5 months. Anyways, LB already has contracts for the peg campaign and he mentioned that he has been testing them. What we can do is we can learn from Frozen Walrus for what's working and what's not working and modify the contract accordingly. Going below peg is very normal in a tome folk or even tome. When you look at tome, it hasn't been above for months. But they've moved on from that fact and they are continuously building. Now it doesn't matter if you like that building or not, people have different opinions, but the fact that they are building is something. Similar thing has been happening with Grape. We are coming out with Vinium, which is a lending and borrowing protocol that will be native to Grape Finance. So my opinion is that you should not solely focus on achieving PEG, but you should also focus on delivering utilities. And that is exactly what Grape has been doing. Now let's talk about Winemaker. I previously mentioned that there is going to be new skills and new tools added next week. But there will also be new mechanics that will be added to the game. There is going to be randomized extortion fee that will be paid in vintage. The new tools that are coming will be of low supply and will cost a decent amount of vintage. So I think we can say that there is going to be demand for vintage. This might be the time to buy vintage, go to the vineyard and stake it here. The APRs have been pretty decent. It's sitting at 2% daily that is paid out in wine. I personally don't see a better deal than this. Now keep in mind, because vintage is the game asset, it can be a little bit volatile. Moving on, there have been arguments in the Grape chat about what needs to come first, whether Vinium, Pack Campaign or Nodes version 2. Before knowing what is coming out first, what you need to know is that these are all separate things. Vinium, despite being Grape native, it will have its own marketing. But for all the Nodes maxes, LB mentioned that it may happen that Nodes version 2 can come out before Vinium. LB is thinking to modify WinePress for Grape. Let's see how that goes. Another good news for Nodes holders was shared in the AMA. People that have been compounding continuously can receive a bonus in Nodes version 2. Lastly, LB was kind enough to share some info regarding Vinium. He said that Vinium is going to be big and it is going to launch in a big way. The target market for Vinium is going to be larger than Tome Folks and the DGen DeFi. Lending and borrowing, for those of you who don't know, is the core of DeFi. The documentation for Vinium should release before launch of Vinium, of course. LB mentioned that it has already launched on the testnet and they are testing the UIs. The OGs might get to play around with Vinium to suggest some improvement on the UI. Vinium has already been sent to get audited, and as it's going to hold millions of dollars, everything needs to be done professionally. Vinium is going to be a tool for people to use, and that tool will generate fees for Grape protocol. Thank you for tuning. Make sure you join the Discord server if you haven't yet. Lots of exciting things to come for Grape in future. Take care and peace.